Hey, and welcome back to another episode of Crafty the Camper. We are Sam and Deanne, and we are in the process of converting our VW Crafter into a tiny home on wheels.
Could have been in some trouble there.
We spontaneously bought Crafty last July in the first lockdown, and we hope to have him ready this summer to travel to Scotland.
If that's the picture you want to paint it. Hold it steady, mate. Christ, what on earth?
Join us in this episode where Sam starts making the bed frame and we ply line the walls and make the wheel arch boxes.
Yay!
Yay!
Good morning, everyone. We are 3rd of January. So today I'm going to tackle the bed frame. It's going to be welded out of 1/2-inch steel. And yeah, I've bought a load of steel online. I've had it sat by my toolbox for absolutely ages. So yeah, today is the day that we crack on with that. It's pretty early in the morning and it's cold, hence the hat. So I need to start moving so I can warm up. So I have measured out the width. We're going for quite a small bed. Like, we want to try and utilise as much space as what we've got in the van. Do you like the setup? Do you like how I'm looking right now? So the first 2 holes drilled. Going to test that, see how it lines up. So the 2 holes here line up perfectly. Now the distance between the two back ones are different, but then the last 3 are all the same. So I've measured 264 mil from each distance. I've like scribed it. Then what I'm going to do is centre punch the centre as well. Then I'll use a 2 mil pilot hole to go through the centre. Then a slightly bigger, like 4 mil, just to make it bigger. And finally it's like an 8.5 mil, just to allow a little bit of wiggle room for the M8 bolt that I'll be using. So this one that I've done already goes into the original bolt holes that are on like the part of the van. So I've just measured it and just tried it on the other side and it's duplicated, so it's exactly the same. So all I need to do now is just transfer the markings from this one onto this one and basically do exactly the same. So I've then got 2 rails. Then once I've got those rails, I can then build up from the rails to create like a platform and then come across. I'm not going to film that though because it's just pointless because I've already done one. So I'll be back when it's complete. Side on the driver's side works, it's all good. Now I'm just going to duplicate exactly the same for the other side. I've just wiped this down and now I'm just spraying it with primer and then I'm going to paint it. Waiting for the primer to dry now, and then I'm going to paint it in black. I hate waiting for paint to dry. Trying to think of something else to do for a minute. Right, I've just been making some buttons for underneath the bed whilst this is drying. It's now dry, so now I'll just spray it with black. So because this painting is taking so long to dry, I've only gone and got the old night heater on, and I've put them inside the van, just resting. It should help dry them out. Look at that, it looks proper cosy in here now. Cladding, lights on, the night heat is running, so it's nice and warm in here. These are the original bolt fixings that it's going to be fixed to. Now if you look here, there's like a recess on each one. Now obviously if I was just to bolt that up, I'm going to sandwich that and make it thin and then also lose some of its structure. So what I've got is 2 washers. I'm going to pack 2 washers in there, and from putting those in there it will make it level and keep all of its strength. I'm using the 5 bolt holes. That one there isn't being used. I forgot to film, didn't I? Anyway, they're like half caught on, and now I need to just it's still obviously loose. So they are, it's so hard getting the nuts and bolts in through. So it's all screwed up in place. It actually looks like it's lopsided, but I think that's just like an illusion because of the the battens and stuff. They're at different heights, but yeah, the frames are in on both sides. Obviously now it's going to be left for some time like this. I'm not going to bother doing the bits across. I'll come back probably a month down the line or something, and go across. I'm basically just going to weld some pieces across there, and then there's our fixed bed.
I've been walking through the valley of the shadows. I let them tell me who I was. I've been talking myself up onto the gallows.
So it's another day, and what I want to do before cladding along here and all around the window is I want to put this flexible ply that's going to go around this frame, and it should finish it off really nicely.
You were knocking on the door that I've been looking for. It was right in front of me. I was lost, but now I'm free. And I was blind, but now I see that your love is better than life. Your love is better.
Basically, when I made the window frame here, I allowed a 3mm gap around the entire piece of main batten that I'd fitted, just to allow for this flexible ply to fit in nice and flush, and it looks real neat. So the plan is, unfortunately the piece isn't long enough, so what I have to do is do it in 2 sections and then do another piece up here, and then once I've cladded over, I'll then sand it, and then that should look really smart.
It's a beautiful morning, isn't it? It's bloody freezing. The 10th of January. Still in lockdown, aren't we? Everywhere, online. That fog is just insane. The battery's going to run at any second.
So we've arrived into work. Excuse the noise today because we've got some other guys in working, so it's going to be a bit noisy. But basically today we've done like the bed frame and stuff. That was done that's in another video. But yeah, the bed frame's done. We're applying underneath the bed now with 6mm ply because it doesn't need to be cladded because it's not going to be on show. And we've started this, done this like template with just using cardboard, and that goes completely around the wheel arches. We'll cut one piece of ply that will go along the entire length here, and then once we've done that, we're going to then make the boxes for the wheel arches, and we're going to box them in as well.
Today, really.
Yeah, and then we'll see where we are, see what the time is, and
some more cladding.
Maybe some more cladding, whatever.
Days like today where I'm like, why are we doing this? It's so cold.
It's freezing. It's minus.
It's Sunday and
-2.
we should be watching films.
We should.
In the warm.
But we got a van to. But we got a van to convert.
No, it's summer again.
So, we have done both sides. This was a little tricky because obviously we had all the wires and stuff to go through, but we've actually made a really neat job. Like where they all come through. We nailed it with where we were and stuff. We just put like a ruler back behind, and then kind of like offered the ruler from behind the ply and then put it in front to then sort of work out exactly where the wire was going to come out to. So yeah, lots of wires there. Obviously that's because the batteries are going to be down here at the back end. Right, so I have finally finished the wheel arch boxes, and I've used, well you can see, used like MDF 9mm. The battery died, so I didn't capture the last bits, but there's actually insulation inside there as well, so it will make things really quiet and hopefully a little bit warmer.
PS, it's a bit of a boring episode because we were a bit sad because of COVID and lockdown, but please watch because we show you how to make all this stuff, and you should subscribe and like it because support that life, that van life. Catch you at the racetrack.